Please stay tuned.
Hello and welcome, dear caring Cancerians. Well, I'm Rose Smith and I'm here with your horoscope for August. Well, what a big month we had last month in July with 2 new moons, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, 2 eclipses, a solar and a lunar eclipse, and also Mercury retrograde. So absolutely big month for many of us. But this month does promise to be somewhat calmer and somewhat more peaceful. Now, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand, and some of those Pacific islands before the international dateline, you'll actually get 2 new moons this month in August. They're called black moons, okay? But don't be concerned about the name black. Black just really means it's hidden and it's about to become known. So as the month goes on, you're going to find that there are new starts in your life. And maybe you didn't really anticipate some of the effects of these new starts. There could be a lot of creativity coming up, and these new beginnings are all about moving us forward, okay? In fact, whether you're in the Southern Hemisphere or the Northern Hemisphere, everybody will be moving forward as Mercury turns direct on the 1st of the month. So, you know, if you had problems with technology, and I certainly did in July, if you had concerns about signing agreements or contracts, or maybe even issues with travel or your car, these are the sorts of things that get smoothed out in August. Communications are flowing much better, there's less confusion and less misunderstandings with other people. We seem to be more on the same page in August, which is great news. Now, the 12th of the month sees Mercury joining the Sun, Venus and Mars in your 2nd house. Now, people often talk about the 2nd house as relating to finances, and it certainly does, but it's more than just finances. The 2nd house is all about what you really value. So you might have some belief systems that you value, for example. And with Mercury joining all those other planets in there, you might find that your beliefs about certain things are changing. And you might be also pleasantly surprised, changing in a good way, because all of a sudden you've got more insight and awareness into, you know, what's going on. But if you've had money problems, especially in July, in August it should be easier going for you. So things should clear up so you can find a way through any potential financial difficulties that you may have had. You'll be feeling better in August than July about money. The 15th sees the full moon in your 8th house. Now, the full moon brings up changes and transformation. The 8th house is all about sharing resources. Now, it's a bit funny to be talking about sharing resources and then realise that the 8th house is also about sex and taboo, hidden sorts of topics. But you can see it's about intimacy and sharing when you kind of look at it in another light, so to speak. You could have issues with tax, with loans, other people's money, and there's something comes up that you have to deal with it. Doesn't make it bad, it just means that it needs attention, okay? And as I mentioned, sex, so if you're in a sexual relationship, you might be thinking that it's not giving you what you want. Maybe you want more commitment, and these things will come up that you'll have to deal with. If you're not in a sexual relationship, you might discover that, you know, you've been putting that part of your life on hold for some reason, and now you want to change things because you've got more information and more awareness about what you really want in life, okay? The other thing that could happen in August is if there's any secrets they could be released. So if you're with somebody, you might find out something about them that you didn't know before, or alternatively could be your own secrets that are coming up and about to be released. So if you're having a rather heated discussion, be careful what you say, because it might just come out of your mouth and you didn't actually mean to say it, okay? But it's just one of those Freudian slips, things that come out, you know. So the end of the month from the 19th, a lot going on in your third house of communications. And Mars is already in there on the 19th. 22nd sees Venus going in there. 24th sees the Sun. And finally, on the 30th, the new moon. Okay, third house, all about communications and getting your message out into the world. So if you've been thinking about publishing, blogging, going on social media, developing a following, these things are all very much favoured for you, caring Cancerians. So it's really time to get your message out in the world. And I feel that some of you, you're very sort of emotional sometimes, and you might have been holding back, hesitant to get your message out there for some reason. You know, you don't necessarily want to upset people, or you don't want the scrutiny of the public, you know, or the hassle that comes with going public. It can be a real hassle sometimes, you know, so you've sort of kept to yourself, but the universe is really sort of compelling you or influencing you, encouraging you to go public now. So it is a great month for it. Now, I'll just have a little look here psychically. Oh, yes. So what I see when I close my eyes, the first thing I see is a great shark, a great white shark. And that says to me there's real fear around going public or getting your message out there. Maybe you're frightened that you might be judged. And yes, you will be. But, you know, for those people that are negative, there's always people that are positive that make up for it. So please, please focus on the positive people, the people that really want to see you succeed and really want to encourage you. So, you know, there's always some people that are negative. What can I say? You know, and they, you know, you just have to keep going regardless. Listen to the voice within rather than what the haters are saying, okay? So I really want to encourage you to go public in August. All right, what else can I see? Yes, so the next thing I see is like a flight of steps, wooden steps. There is a railing you can hold on. They feel a little bit rickety, a bit unsure, but it's okay. You can hold on to that railing and ascend in consciousness. Taking steps is about taking actual action steps. It's not just symbolic what I'm seeing here. It's spirit telling me to tell you to take action steps and get some physical things done about this. It's okay to think about it and plan it, but at some point you've actually got to take physical steps to make it real. Okay, they're showing me a little sort of rowboat, and they're saying it's slow and it's work. When you row, it is work. But you're getting somewhere and the weather is good. The water is clear and it's quite still and calm. There's no great storm going on or anything like that. So in terms of timing, August is the perfect month. And now here's another vision I can see is a broom, and it's sweeping. And it's like clean up. A new broom sweeps, clean up, and then you'll feel better. They probably mean clean up financially, because it's not a term I normally get, clean up. So the first thing that comes to mind is clean up financially. You can make some money, okay, from your talents and abilities. That's okay. You don't need to get caught up in that belief system that some people have, that it's not okay to make money out of your natural gifts. It is okay. Otherwise we wouldn't have people like artists and singers, and other people, sculptors and people that are doing creative things, they're entitled to be paid for their time and energy. And besides that, they've got to earn a living. You know, if you're a starving, struggling artist, you've got to focus on getting enough food to eat. You know, really takes you away from being creative. So yes, you can earn some money from your talents and abilities. If you have a small business, it's a great time for promotion, marketing, getting your business name out there. Get out and network and get known for what you do. Okay, so that was rather quite long, wasn't it? It went on. As soon as I said one, then another one had come in. All right, so let's have a look in the cards now for you, caring Cancerian. So I'm getting a very strong vibe of going overseas too for some of you. And a long, long trip, like if you're in Australia, going to England or perhaps the US. If you're in the US, it's going to Europe, England or Europe. Okay, yeah, England or Europe. I was just asking kind of then, what about Canada? You know, it's not so much Canada, no. Okay, so I'm shuffling cards, tarot cards for Cancerians in the month of August 2019. Yes, so I see agreements and contracts. I can actually see like parchments. They seem like old ancient scrolls almost. And so it's like an agreement in yourself, an agreement from the past. The card that I come up with is the Justice card. Okay, so the Justice card. This can imply legal agreements or legal things, but not necessarily. So it's more about natural law, L-O-R-E, rather than L-A-W. But sometimes, yes, the two do go together. So this is sort of like natural laws of, say, karma, cause and effect, reaping the consequences of things that you've done in the past. But it could be very excellent for you, you know. Things that have come up, you might have a lucky break. You might find that people are helping you inexplicably and you don't even know why. But it's because of the energy that you're putting out and perhaps the karma of the past. So karma doesn't necessarily mean that it's negative. It can be very, very positive. But the Justice card, this is about justice being done and the bigger concept of fairness, being fair. Now you might see there, she's got an owl on her shoulder. So it's all about wisdom, knowledge, you know, and with that wisdom and knowledge, you can do the right thing. There is a set of scales in her hand. She has to weigh up. She doesn't have all of the information, so she has to weigh up the information that's with her at the moment. And you'll see she's blindfolded. And blindfolded means that, again, she can't see everything. She can only weigh up what is in front of her. Okay? So if you've got a legal issue, this is a great card. You know, if you've done the right thing and somebody's dudded you or tried to cheat you in some way, this will prevail, this energy. It's a major arcana card, so this means that it's a very strong and important sort of energy that usually goes over some time. It's not usually about, you know, an unimportant thing or a small thing. It's about something that's been going over an extended period of time. Alrighty, so Cancerians, now let's have a look in the psychological cards. And if you haven't seen me use these before, because I don't use them all the time, but sometimes I feel called to, and I've had these for, I was trying to figure out, it's nearly 40 years. Can you believe that? It's like a blink in some respects, 40 years. Okay, so the one that I get for you is Share. Okay, this is the background card, all right? So there's two cards, a foreground and a background. So Share is the background. Now I'll shuffle the other card, the inner card, or the foreground card for Cancer, August 2019. Oh, lovely. Okay, this one. That's a plate of food. Looks like some greens, maybe some potato and some meat, maybe meat. But it's a plate of food. Okay, so we put that inside the share card and we come out with that. Alright, so I want you just to think about for a second what it is you have to share with others. Okay, what does food represent to you? It could be actual food, okay? It might mean, invite some people over for dinner and share food, break bread, okay, catch up. That's the more literal interpretation. But just have a think what that means to you. And to me, it means that food is about nurturance. Okay, so food doesn't actually very much mean fuel. It is fuel, but there's lots of emotional meanings attached to food, one of which is nurturance. So this is about nurturing others by giving them good spiritual food, things that they can think about and really chew down on, So you might have some information, some wisdom or knowledge that you could be sharing with the world. Now this goes back to all of those planets after the 19th being in your third house of communications, getting your message out into the world. It may or may not be an overtly spiritual thing. You might be interested in health, or you might be interested in diet, whatever it's about. Because you could be even interested in technology, for example. Whatever it's about, share it with other people, because there will be a spiritual aspect to it in some way that you may not have really thought of. Okay, so that's it for this month. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would really appreciate a like if you could see your way clear. Subscribe to my channel, comment, and don't forget to click the notification bell. But most importantly, caring Cancerians, please have a very beautiful month, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Okay, thanks for listening, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.